Just because MLS, Realtor.com, and the big search companies out there have it, doesn't mean that when I, the buyer, am searching from out of state for a golf course community, house on a beach, that my listing is showing up appropriately in those. Agents, Google's your friend. It's not trying to work against you. It's simply a search algorithm. It understands how to take information and put it to the top of the informational stack, so you don't have to go look through the entire Library of Congress to simply find the Declaration of Independence. So what I'm asking you to do is make sure after your listing is up for 24 hours, it's had time to syndicate everywhere, go Google the type of house you're looking for in that area and see if that house that you're representing pops up to the top of the list. Because bet your ass clients doing it, and so are the buyers that are not successfully finding it, right? So don't let that story blow up in your face. It's important for you to understand and how to market all properties effectively based on its nicer conditions, right? Ultimately, if he would have gone into that website, he could have asked them to please syndicate this home. This is for that community. Facebook groups for those communities, they need to know that there's a home in their subdivision that is for sale that's going to do well. Don't be afraid to give those group admins a call or a quick IM over Facebook and let them know what would you need to, or ask them properly, what would I need to do to be able to list this home in your community on your site? How do you fix a problem like this, right? If you really feel like something's not right, I know, big shocker, we're all internet programmers now, so we know how to make this work perfectly. No, please pick up a phone, talk to an IT support person at that website. 9 times out of 10, they can help you. But if you were a buyer's agent looking for a similar home like that, you need to put yourself through the paces so that you're never surprised. Another perfect example, those of us that are representing land does not syndicate well. It simply doesn't. It's not the fastest selling thing out there. There's a reason for that. They don't want it to be as exposed. But if you are representing an owner and it doesn't look like it's a massive piece of property for major development purchase, chances are you're going to have to do a little extra effort to make sure it gets onto the right websites as often as possible. Also, your listing needs to be accurate. And as long as it appears to be accurate, please consider making changes occasionally. Try writing some additional trafficking language. Run it through an AI engine if you need to, but please don't copy paste that direct over. AI is still new. It's still a baby in the technology space. It's trying to find its way around too. Make sure you add that intelligent component, your professionalism, your understanding of the market into the language while you're putting it out there. Add some of those additional descriptive words in real estate. This should not be a 2-year-old or a second grader paragraph. Please, everything you learned in English class comes into play right here. So make absolutely sure that you're spending the time and the energy. And if you're not good at writing descriptions for properties, find someone else in your agency that does, or call us here at Keystone and let us help you. Let us teach you. Create a short form video, do Instagram reels, throw some TikTok, email, direct to agents. There are plenty of property opportunities out there for you to be able to advertise. Again, if you got into being a listing agent, you didn't think you were going to spend any money, you're doing it wrong. Marketing is the heaviest expense that we have at listing properties, and you need to make absolutely sure it's following a listing marketing plan that you should have presented at the original meeting with your client. Pro tip for you rookies out there. If you're a real estate agent who's still learning how to market your listing effectively, there are lots of guides out there, and there are some amazing softwares that do a general percentage of the work for you. There's no excuse in today's technology age for you not to have some pro-level marketing out there, and you're simply just going to maybe pay somebody else to do it if necessary. Which brings me back to my big soapbox. Let me get that out front of my desk for you. Pay attention, kids. Here it is. Here's Alex's pet peeve. Low quality real estate photos. For God's sakes, hire a professional photographer. Even though real estate photography is part of marketing on its own, it dramatically will impact a home not selling if it's not good quality. Listing photos are the primary way that potential buyers interact with a new listing. Bad listing photos are absolutely what's going to make a perfectly good buyer write this home off and not go in and see it. They're never going to want to look at it again, much less come back to it because you finally corrected the problem. And you really tricky agents out there that put it on the market with new photos coming soon, believe me, other agents and typical buyers are not going to mark that on a list and, oh, I can't wait to come see the new photos. Second, you put it on the MLS and it wasn't ready for presentation, you failed yourself. Worse, you failed your client. Photos must be high resolution, taken with plenty of light, positioned at the right angles. None of that fisheye crap. Don't let me see any of these fancy magic tricks. You are not Majesto the magician, and you can turn a room into a beautiful space with a fisheye lens and expect me not to catch it as a buyer's agent walking in. I'll be the first one to make a phone call to you and your broker saying, fix this. This is poor representation of a property. Professional display makes a home feel clean, fresh, and ready to move into. If it's a big cluttery space, if they've got a lot of tattered furniture in the way, I'm not being critical of their condition, but if they want to sell a home, polish the apple. How do you fix this problem? You're going to end up with listing photos that aren't great. Hire a professional. Spend the money. Reshoot the listing if the photos don't look good. And virtual staging, if necessary, to make people understand, especially in these big open space houses, how they can actually put furniture in this home and represent moving into it. Make them feel like I could live here, even if it's a virtual presentation. You need to scrutinize every single image like a kid being critical of their buddy sitting next to them with a drawing in art class before it ever gets posted on social media, much less the MLS. Do not include any photos that shows cluttered rooms, busy streets, power lines, small unmanicured lawns, anything that's going to give a buyer a reason to eliminate this home from a list. Don't show it. I would rather a buyer and a buyer's agent show up to a property and say, oh, we didn't get any pictures of this, versus, oh my God, you completely lied in every single photo of this house. Where is the I lied about all these photos checkbox on the MLS? All right, which brings us to probably that next stage in marketing, right? Home staging and curb appeal can get a little pricey, and here's where some of the owners and some of the agents shy away from doing listings. If you have a house that is not selling for many of these obvious reasons, price, market, quality of home, that's one thing. But if you're needing to focus on cosmetics, appearance, that is very different. According to the NAR, 20% of buyers agents said that a staged home increased the amount of money offered for the property. Now, that doesn't mean it made you more money. It means that they probably got what they were asking for the property. It allowed the property to show its value, so they didn't nitpick against it showing, this isn't as big, or this isn't as quality a house, or blah, 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 right? It kept them from looking for something to negotiate against. And even though furniture and pulling weeds doesn't change the house's true value, it will significantly change the appeal of the property and ultimately the selling price, because competition is good for business. And the nicer your house looks while it's posted on the MLS, the more the other people in the MLS have to make their properties look nice too, and that helps you sell. How do you fix an easy problem like this? There are many different ways to help home curb appeal, and especially interior staging. Hiring a professional home stager is pricey, but it will get you some great results if that home is difficult represented without furniture in it. If you can make a bigger impact by trying some tried and true staging tips like decluttering, adding some mirrors, moving personalized things out of the home so I'm not distracted by who lives in the home now, and I'm concentrating on me living in the home instead. These are simple things that are going to help me get attached to that home during my walking tour. Change out some shrubs, get grass cut, make sure that the weeds and the beds are done. These are all things that you need to pay attention to. Add a couple of potted plants. You'd be surprised how it adds a surprising amount of curb appeal. Let's wrap it all up. If you or your seller is asking, why is my home not selling? All of these strategies should give you plenty of opportunities to explore without dropping the price. By looking into each and every one of these options, you're going to be able to determine a problem and take away necessary steps to sell the house. I absolutely want to make sure that you're representing well as an agent. Your home is being represented well by that agent, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. If you have any types of issues or problems or want to be able to see things differently, feel free to go see some of our other classworks over at our YouTube page. We are happy to continue to educate the general public. And you as an agent, if you're interested in being taught one-on-one like this in a more convenient environment so that you can learn about what's important to you in your market, give us a call here at Keystone.